Hi and welcome back to Joe Talks Cars and welcome to another video. Today is a very exciting video because when I started my YouTube journey almost a year ago now, I always wondered whether it would lead me to get more exciting cars on the channel and feature some really interesting things and meet some brilliant people. And today, I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but I now have a 911 GT3 on the channel. So many thanks to James from the Porsche Owners Club that I'm part of, but he's brought his car down from Hull today for me to have a look at and also have a little drive about in. It's the first time I've driven a 911, and for the first 911 to drive being the GT3 is quite amazing. So what do we exactly have here? What we have is a 911 GT3 991.2. It's an amazing car in agate grey with some really nice options on it. So as you can see, it's got the PCCB brakes, the carbon ceramic Porsche brakes, which are really nice with these yellow calipers. It's also got a front lift kit, which will put a clip on the screen now of the car raising up. It's really cool, and it does help when you're going through car parks like we have round here. It makes you feel a little bit safer. Round the front, it's got the dark surrounds around the headlights, which is really lovely, and it goes against the paint really nicely. And I think in general, I think it's just an absolutely stunning car, and I feel so lucky to have been able to drive this today. It's a dream come true to even drive a 911, never mind a GT3 product. So as most of you will know, this is a 4-litre GT3. It's got around 500 horsepower and it's a PDK car, so it's extremely fast. The sound these things make is absolutely crazy, even just starting it up around here, and it just makes the most beautiful noise. So amazingly, he's given me the key to this car. He somehow trusts me to have a little pootle around in the car park with it. But we'll jump in and have a look at some of the interior details that this car has. So inside this amazing 911 GT3, it's got the carbon bucket seats, which you would expect. It's got some really nice options, which I think set the interior off really nicely. It's got the Porsche embossed central armrest, which apparently cost £161, which is mental, but that's Porsche's for you. It's got some Alcantara where the seat belts come out. It's got Alcantara steering wheel, full headliner in Alcantara, which looks absolutely beautiful. And it's got the red dials. The only thing that is a little bit strange is the owner before this that spec'd the car has gone for the yellow calipers, which is carbon ceramic, but then they've gone for red details inside, which is a little bit unusual. I think if you were to spec this car, you'd probably want to go yellow and yellow on the inside, because the only other option for the brake calipers is black. So either going black and then keeping the red, that's probably the way I would have gone. But overall, I think it looks absolutely stunning. The seats are beautiful. I've never sat in these sort of seats before. And although they're very hard to get in and out of, I think on a track, at least, they'll hold you in really nicely. So as I said earlier, this car is a PDK model. My car is a Tiptronic, so I'm used to driving autos, and it's very straightforward, easy to drive, very similar to what my Cayman is. It just feels very similar, a lot noisier, and it feels like a bigger car, but more or less a similar experience. As you'd expect with a car of this quality, it has Apple CarPlay, it has red dials on the instrument cluster, which all set the car off, and I think it just makes it look absolutely stunning. It's got no rear seat, which is really cool, so there's a lot of space for shopping, dogs and whatever else you want to put in there, because these are quite practical cars, you must remember. You can use a 911 every single day, and even though it's a GT3, I still think you could more or less daily this, despite the fuel prices being around £2 a litre. So around the back, I think it's more or less business as usual for a GT3. It has got the black lettering, which I think looks really nice against the grey, more of like a stealth look. I'm not sure whether this is standard or it has been optioned, but either way, it looks brilliant. It's got nice black exhaust tips. Again, I think that possibly was an option from new. It doesn't look like it's a standard exhaust. It looks like a standard exhaust, but it's black, so it looks really nice. And of course, it's got the famous wing, which we all absolutely love. I actually think these look a bit nicer than the GT3 RS, but that's just my personal opinion. The really cool thing about GT3s is they have rear wheel articulation. So at slow speeds, the wheels turn in the same direction. We'll try and get a clip of it on the screen now so you can see it working, but the wheels actually tip in at slower speeds to give you a better turning circle, and then at high speeds they actually go in the opposite direction to give you better stability at high speed. So I think the only thing left to do now is jump in this thing, start it up so you can hear this amazing exhaust note that the GT3 has. So he's just told me I can have a little pootle about in it, move it around and take pictures, so I'm just going to have a little drive around. We're going to go out with the Motorist and back in. That's all I'm going to do, but I'm happy with that because it's the first time I've ever driven a 911 and it feels very surreal actually. It feels very surreal. Absolutely gorgeous car, and I'm very frightened of driving it. It's the most expensive car by quite a considerable margin that I've ever driven, and well, it's just such an amazing day. So like I said, we're just going to have a little drive around the Motorist itself, go out of the exit and back in. That's all I'm going to do today. One day I might get out on the road in one properly, but until then, this is good enough for me, hopefully. Good enough for everyone else. The suspension is pretty firm, to say the very least. There's no bumps along here, but I don't know, the camera's probably picking it up, but it's really, really firm, really nice, feels very solid. But again, it's very similar in that most Porsches are, they're very easy to drive, there's no drama at all, it's just a really, really nice thing to drive around in. I'm not going to park down there because I daren't turn it around. I'm going to go over here. But no, it's what an experience to be able to do this. What a day off I'm having. James, who owns this car, also has a Yaris GR, so we're hoping that one day we'll be able to catch up and feature that on the channel as well. And it'd be really good to get more Owners Club cars on the channel because it just gives me loads of content and it's just great fun to have a little go in all these different cars. So thank you very much for James for letting me not only look at the car but also have a little drive around. I know we haven't gone very fast, gone very slowly and just pootled around a car park, but honestly, it's been so much fun. I've absolutely loved spending time with this car, looking at everything and getting a good feel for it. And yeah, it's the absolute dream. I would love to own one. It just makes you want to go out and work hard just so you can afford something like this. So before I wrap this video up, I want to show you one feature of this car, which I mentioned at the start, and that this car has airlift suspension on the front, so you can get over bumps and stuff, but it's really, really cool to watch it. So what I'm going to do is jump inside, press the button, and we're going to have the camera down here and just watch it, because it goes up really quick and it also drops really, really quickly. So I think you'll agree that looks absolutely stunning. And before I end this video, I just want to say a massive thank you to James for bringing the car along, letting me have a look around it, and also a cheeky little drive round. It's been an amazing day. I absolutely love spending time with this car and looking at all the little details, and also having my very first drive of a Porsche 911, and not only any 911, but GT3. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.